what would happen if I didn't get to you in time. I mean, because you chose me
Fans
already. You
of
already
Bold and
had.
Beautiful are
And you
being
must have
rocked by the
known.
intensity
You
of the
must have
show's
known that I felt the
plot.
same way, that I was going to
When
be there.
Steffi
I
Forrester
did
finds
know.
out that Liam,
I
her
knew.
ex-husband and the father of her child, is dying of an incurable brain tumor, she is devastated. But as things start to calm down, a startling plot twist puts her in a moral quagmire and puts her on a collision course with Hope Logan. Steffi promises to maintain his secret after saving Liam's life and learning that Finn has verified his terminal diagnosis. However, Liam is causing an emotional meltdown by insisting that no one, not even Hope, be informed about his condition. Steffi finds herself torn between doing what is right and respecting Liam's desires as Hope starts to reevaluate her emotions for him without knowing his fate. A possible reconciliation between Hope and Wyatt, spurred by their mutual pain, is hinted at in the program. Will these ex-partners reconcile after Liam receives a covert death sentence? Chaos breaks out behind the scenes at the Forrester fashion show to heighten the drama. Ridge becomes enraged and the event is delayed as Taylor and Brooke's trivial rivalry turns into an absurd but amusing lock-in situation. With love's rekindling, secrets coming to light, and Steffi's commitment put to the ultimate test, Bold and Beautiful is launching into sweeps week with heart-stopping drama and heartbreaking gut punches. Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to Luxurious Night. Thanks to an unexpected plot twist, Steffi from Bold and Beautiful is barreling toward her most explosive confrontation ever. After finding out that her ex-husband, who is also the father of her kid, Liam, is dying, Steffi Forrester has recently been through a very trying time emotionally. However, Bold and Beautiful won't let her deal with her suffering. Instead, they've put her right in the middle of her most combustible confrontation ever, all because of a surprise plot twist. After finding Liam unconscious and bleeding from the head on Dollar Bill's porch and taking him to the hospital, Steffi is credited with saving his life. Steffi went with him to the emergency hospital, where Liam was diagnosed with a potentially fatal brain hemorrhage. He was then sent to an operating room for a procedure to relieve the pressure in his skull that was causing him to abruptly lose consciousness. For a while, it was touch and go, but once Liam stabilized, Steffi started to breathe better, and when Bridget and Finn joined Grace Buckingham, her ex-husband's medical team started to take shape. Although she struggled with the realization that Kelly would probably be sad when Liam was unable to attend the daddy-daughter dance, she was actually able to return home and relax. However, Liam heroically pulled out his IV, disregarded the doctor's orders, and made it to the Cliff home only to find out it was too late. Steffi got a terrifying text from her husband when she was in the living room watching Kelly and a drunk Liam dance. Liam's brain has an inoperable tumor, according to scans. Finn revealed to Steffi that Liam's condition was terminal, while a bleary-eyed Liam labored to read a story to Kelly in the adjacent room. Liam was informed by Steffi herself, with support from Finn. After the attending physician verified that Liam was indeed dying, his reaction shifted from denial to defiance. Steffi promised her ex that everyone would come together to assist him, but Liam insisted on keeping the same position he had adopted while in the hospital. No one else was to be informed of his situation. Naturally, this puts Steffi in a difficult situation. It's easy for Finn, Bridget, and Grace. Since they are medical professionals, they are not allowed to discuss Liam's condition. However, his ex-wife is not subject to HIPAA regulations, which has put her in a moral bind. Now that Steffi's advantageous situation has been established, let's go on to the sudden plot twist. Everyone in town was talking about Liam from the minute he arrived at the hospital. What a magnificent father and man he was, how well he co-parented his daughters, how much he had matured, etc. Deacon and Hope were among others who became acutely fixated on Liam. The restaurateur appeared to become fixated on the prospect of his daughter making amends with the man who had not only cheated on her in the past, but had also alternated between her and Steffi for years on end. He was so upset with Carter for allowing Daphne to kiss him that he went all Cobra Kai on him at Forrester headquarters. After planting the seed, Hope acknowledged to Carter that she had been considering Liam when he came to make his case. Viewers of Bold and Beautiful who had seen the show before were not at all startled and knew right away that Hope would decide she wanted to reunite with Liam, even though she was unaware of his impending death. Liam is unlikely to inform her because he is in denial and wants to keep everyone in the dark about his condition. Steffi finds herself in a terrible situation if Liam and Hope rekindle their romance and start rebuilding their family, which is obviously the path we're on. She has repeatedly assured Liam that she will not violate his wishes by disclosing his predicament to others, but even though she and Hope are currently as far apart as they have ever been, she will suffer because she will be unable to tell her what she is entitled to know. Conclusion: Steffi has the final say, despite the fact that Liam has put him in a difficult situation. Steffi would be betraying the person she loves and running the chance of his dying while they are at odds if she told Hope what she knows. However, Hope would eventually learn that Steffi was aware of his prognosis the entire time and chose not to inform her. Bold and Beautiful has prepared Steffi for one of the most intense and potentially explosive confrontations she has ever had with Hope, even if Hope and Liam do not reconcile. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Wyatt and Hope join in mourning. Liam tragedy brings exes back together. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful B&B suggest that Wyatt Spencer, Darren Brooks, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, might join forces in sorrow. Will these ex-partners be reunited after the most recent tragedy involving Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton? The news will eventually leak, even though Liam doesn't want anyone else to know about the inoperable lump on his brain. Hope might soon find out what Liam is up against, which could lead to a tough choice. But what if Hope defies Liam's wishes for his own sake? Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McSinn's Wood, has been ready to preserve Liam's secret thus far. It would be intriguing if Hope chose to inform Wyatt and the rest of Liam's family. It's possible that Hope will call Wyatt and ask him to come support his brother. Hope might be the one to initiate Wyatt's homecoming, because he undoubtedly has to be present for this plot. Of course, it's still unclear if Liam will truly suffer a deadly consequence. Although Liam's physicians are now giving him no hope, there is a chance that a miracle or some kind of experimental trial will come to his rescue. But it's also plausible that B&B plans to tell a true story of sadness this time. For once, they might forgo the fake-outs and give Liam a heartfelt farewell as his brain tumor kills him. What romantic ramifications will Liam's death have for Hope? Although Hope and Liam's reunion has been hinted at in the show, Hope may come to the conclusion that her relationship with her ex-boyfriend won't work out. Perhaps Hope might get back together with Wyatt, another ex. In the future, Wyatt and Hope could easily rely on one another as they grieve Liam's passing. In any event, Liam is attempting to forecast that he will remain for Kelly Spencer, Sophia Peraz, and Beth Spencer, Jordan Grace, but it does not imply that he will be able to get past his health issues. If Liam really dies, Hope and Wyatt may find themselves seeking solace. Therefore, there may still be a positive outcome from the loss. It could ultimately be the factor that reunites Wyatt and Hope. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope and Wyatt will ultimately receive updates on some shocking events involving Liam, so keep checking back. Early spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, April 28, May 2. Liam's desperate situation and Taylor and Brooks' chaos. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. CBS Press Office mix-up. As you may have observed, the spoilers for this week's episodes are very different from what we're really viewing. The fashion show, for example, was supposed to begin much earlier in the week, according to the official CBS spoilers, which are at least 2 days off. They mentioned the argument between Taylor and Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, on Tuesday, but it hasn't transpired. Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McSins-Wood, informs Finn, Tanner Novlan, that she should tell Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, on Thursday, even if everything happened on Tuesday. Therefore, I have no idea what's happening in the B&B press office. Spoilers for Bold and the Beautiful, fixing the timeline. Since their days are out of order, we're going to talk about, as we always do, what's happening the rest of this week. And then we're going to start talking about next week. But we're going to talk about what's happening the rest of this week without attaching it to specific days because the Bold and Beautiful stuff has gone insane. It's really strange. I don't know if they're doing this because of the Liam drama, and I couldn't even guess what they're doing, or they just screwed the pooch and just did it wrong. Steffi's heartbreak and Liam's terminal diagnosis. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. So the rest of this week, look for more of Steffi absolutely devastated about Liam's fatal diagnosis. Although she told him on Tuesday, we do expect her to reiterate the information on Wednesday, and then Finn, Tanner Novlan, is going to join them. He's going to provide actual medical details about the tumor and what this all means. So Steffi's going to break the news. She did it on Tuesday. We'll have a reiteration of that like they like to do. And then Finn's going to confirm it is terminal. No, it's not operable. I wonder if they're going to suggest another option. You know, a lot of times inoperable brain tumors can be shrunk down by radiation. Sometimes even enough to where they then can be operated on. So we'll see. Maybe they'll give him realistic medical information rather than vague, "You're dying" stuff, like we had with Eric Forrester, John McCook. Although Finn saying tumor is already much more detailed than Eric's early diagnosis that we had on Bold. Bold and the Beautiful, Liam fights back. Liam's not going to go down without a fight. He says he's not going to accept this death sentence. He makes a bold declaration this week. But after what went on with Kelly Spencer, Sophia Paris McKinley, when he got dizzy and he couldn't read, he's exhausted. Obviously, he knows things are bad. I don't think Liam is going to willingly head back to the hospital. We'll see. He may refuse and instead start looking on his own for experimental treatment options, since it sounds like the doctors don't think there's anything they can do. Steffi is, of course, devastated because Kelly is going to lose her dad. B&B spoilers. How long does Liam have? She appreciates Liam trying to put a positive spin on it, but Steffi believes what Finn says, and she's sure that Liam really is dying and there's no way to avoid it no matter what he says. So I wonder at what point they're going to tell him how much time he has left. Steffi's leaning on Finn as she worries about how losing Liam will affect their family and her daughter Kelly. And I do wonder if Steffi is going to refuse to keep the secret and go tell Hope Logan, Annika Noel, or press Liam to go tell Hope because it is the right thing to do to loop her in because she also has a daughter with Liam. Forrester Creations fashion show drama, Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. The fashion show is definitely set to kick off on Thursday, the 24th, which is the first day of sweeps, but we may get some more preliminary stuff at the office on Wednesday. Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag, Marka Washington, and Lori Bell from WR are all set to appear from the 24th, possibly all the way through the 28th, which is the following Monday. So the fashion show is supposed to be Thursday, Friday, Monday of next week. And of course, Thursday sweeps kicks off, so that may be the first day we see Taylor and Brooke fighting. And initially, Taylor and Brooke are arguing about the seating arrangements for the show. Taylor, may want to be next to Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye. Brooke may disagree. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, it's petty stuff that starts it, and after their first argument, then they're going to take it, deeper backstage. Taylor winds up accidentally trapping herself and Brooke in a storage closet. She closes the door and apparently it locks, and from the inside you can't get out. Why would you do that? That there wouldn't be a lock on the inside, and it's built to trap people. Bold and the beautiful spoilers. What is Eric up to? So Taylor and Brooke each blame the other for them being stuck in there. And of course, Taylor has already seen Brooke back in one of her little robes, so she may suspect she's up to something. I kind of wonder if Eric is up to something with Brooke because I noticed a lot of comments on soap social media saying Eric was kind of doing Taylor and Ridge dirty by openly encouraging Brooke and leaving that video playing. I mean, Eric is an old waffler himself, the pickleball cheater. So it's not terribly out of character to, push Ridge at Brooke. But Eric had also decided she betrayed them. And then that just all seems to be gone now. Blow Up on Bold Ridge had just told Eric and Brooke on Tuesday that the showstopper was locked up downstairs. So two things I wonder if after Eric encouraging her about that dress and the boat ride, if Brooke's going to try and slip into the showstopper to catch Ridge's eye, and if Taylor gets wind of it and tries to shut her down. That may be the source of their big argument. If that showstopper is in the closet they get locked into and runs it late for the show, that might explain why Ridge is so annoyed because he's got some things to say to both of them by the end of the week. Bold and the beautiful spoilers. Fashion show Foxpals. We also have behind-the-scenes action at the Forrester Creations show with Katie Logan, Heather Tom, Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace. So maybe they go looking and hear Taylor and Brooke banging on the door for help to come out of the closet. And then Ridge confronts Taylor and Brooke about their backstage antics at his fashion show. Of course, Ridge knows Eric left that video out on purpose. And while he did look thoughtful, I don't think it necessarily means anything because Ridge is not getting back with Brooke anytime soon. At least not until after June 13th when Nick comes to town for Brooke. That's already set in stone. Bold and the beautiful spoilers. Liam's fight for life and Brooke's future. The following week, April 28th through May 2nd, we are going to pick back up with the last day of the fashion shoot. And then we're going to have Liam digging in to start looking for answers and a cure for himself that the doctors don't think exist. He's going to search high and low for a way to stay in his daughter's lives and not give in to this death sentence. Look for Liam to reconnect with Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, who, if he told him the truth, might be able to help because I imagine that Bill would move heaven and earth to find a cure for Liam. Steffi hates to see Liam in denial, and she may worry that he's wasting the time he has left looking for a cure that doesn't exist when he should be spending it with Kelly and Beth and his loved ones. And Liam should have long overdue scenes with Hope. And we also have to hope that Beth is part of those scenes as well, because she should be. It shouldn't just be him and his one daughter. Bold spoilers, Brooke needs to step back. Brooke is looking towards the future after the chaos at the fashion show with Taylor and Ridge chewing them out and reiterating his rejection of her and him choosing Taylor. It might be time for Brooke to step back and regroup. I don't expect her to completely give up on winning Ridge back, but maybe Brooke will reconsider how she is approaching things. And of course, Nick is in LA to see her in less than 6 weeks.